It is Wednesday of week 11 and today I'm going to attempt to run up Mont Ventoux. You can see the summit behind me, about 1500 meters higher up. Today's route will be my longest training run to date and going to have around 2,500 meters of climbing. Running through olive groves, cypress trees. Forecast to be mid-20s down here. Actually running through different climatic zones by the time we get to the summit today. You can see the mountain behind me. Its nickname is the Giant of Provence, or it's one of its names. It's also known as the Bold Mountain, as there's no trees at the summit. And for anyone that cycles, you'll know it well from the Tour de France. As a bit of a recap of the week, Monday I cycled up the mountain. I will make a separate video on that. Then yesterday, Tuesday, was my first run in 2 days, as I had Sunday and Monday off from running after my big back-to-back days at the end of last week. And so I did a 30-minute zone 1 fasted run, and that was the first time in about 3 months I'd ran on flat roads, and it was really encouraging because my pace was over 12 kilometers per hour for a zone 1 run, which is the first time I've ever achieved that. And then yesterday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, I did 3 by 9 minute intervals, and that's the first interval session that I've completed in a couple of weeks since my slight hamstring strain. About 19 kilometers in. This is one of the 3 roads up the mountain. The other 2 are open to cars, but this one's shut. As you can see, it's just snow, sheet ice. They obviously have ploughed it at some point, but they've not maintained it. Around 1600 meters up, so another 300 to go. And maybe about 3.5–4 kilometers. What a view! Pretty incredible mountain. I think part of it is the fact you can see the summit from so far away, and there's no other mountains around it. It just stands out. And I am headed up here. Got the New Balance shoes on, so a good test of the inbuilt gaiter. So far, really impressed. I will be doing a full review of them. I've probably released that already after this run actually, so I'll put a link to that on screen now. That's the run done. It was 46 kilometers with around 2,400 meters of climbing. So that's my longest training run this year, longest run this year at 46k, and another good session in the bag. I've now got the quilters on to help with my recovery, and depending on how I feel, I might go out for another bike ride tomorrow before heading home. It's Sunday, long run day, although as you saw I did do a long run in the middle of the week, 46 kilometers, longest one to date, so today's long run is a bit less. I think it's going to start absolutely pouring today. But yeah, overall pretty good week of training. The one area that I haven't been getting enough sessions in on are the tempo runs. I managed to do one this week, which was my first higher intensity one, 3 by 9 minutes. But other than that, I've not done any higher intensity work. I was meant to do a session yesterday, but my legs were too sore. So I just did a weights vest walk, which I hadn't done this week because I had been away. So I took the opportunity to do that instead. I'm heading up that mountain. So unfortunately I don't think I'm going to get any nice views today other than this one of the Abbey. It's also wet, and it's been a long time since I've actually ran on wet muddy trails, so quite enjoying it actually. So as I mentioned, I did the weights vest recovery walk on Saturday. Friday was an uphill climb simulation, climb number 7, which was the Champex climb of the UTMB course. And on Thursday I cycled up Mont Blanc again. That was the second time in a week, but that was after around 46 k's up the mountain the previous day, so on tired legs. But I really did push on. Saturday was also a strength and conditioning session as well. And that's been the second phase fully now of the strength and conditioning, so working on strength. And I'm actually feeling, just holding this camera in my shoulder and bicep, it was quite a tough session. Full on rain now, and don't think I'm going to get any views up the mountain, so I may as well just do the weekly stats now so I can get on with my training run. So first up, I'll put on my run stats, and you can see that big midweek run, which isn't really the normal sort of training week for me, but overall a decent week. Cycling as well, I did 2 bike rides, and the elevation from those was quite significant considering it wasn't that much cycle distance, because both of those were basically just cycling up Mont Blanc. And then the overall training stress score as well, you can see that and how it compares to the previous 2 build weeks. The first build week of this block, if you remember, I limited my training as I had a bit of a tight hamstring, but since then not been too bad at all. Overall, as a result of those big training weeks, my overall fatigue levels were the highest they'd ever been, but also my fitness levels, which you can see on screen now. that is the third build block completed, once I finish this run that is. And next week is a recovery week, and that's going to be a very easy week. I've got a lot of travel and things like that coming up as well, so I won't be doing too much running at all. I'm going to actively have maybe 3-4 days off from running completely, just a couple of cycle rides, and that's just to make sure the legs fully recover, because I want them to be 100% for the next build block, because that'll be another 3 really big weeks, which I think also includes a race at the end of it, if I've got my scheduling correct. I did recce the race route. I'll put a link to that video up there. It was a really big adventure, that video, and it's well worth a watch if you haven't watched that one yet. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content, and I'll see you next time.